we are making strides, government is making strides to move into the right direction. Even as we will visit sites, you will see the area of issues of renewable energy. You will see the standalones, the walk-ups, and the bonded houses having solar geysers, solar lights in the areas that are being put by government. So I think around that area we're moving in the right direction. A little bit on the negative, somebody did indicate around waste management. We find that's been still a challenge on all the developments that we have. And I think the role of the municipality there is being questioned around waste management in that area. So environmental sustainability, yes, solar power, and the negative around waste management.
Okay, I'm going to take it here, and then we're going to move into the implementation conversation. Noted.
Thank you. I also wanted to raise a point on environmental sustainability, specifically highlighting the lack of engagement with our natural environment, like the water bodies that surround the cities, like your wetlands that are left in a state that they are not destinations for people to engage with. They're actually just seen as just water bodies. And I would like to pose to everyone within the room to start thinking about how do we engage with our natural environment. And it is used. We do have sort of rituals happening also within those spaces where people are getting baptized. We have spiritual leaders using these spaces, but we don't see them as participants of those natural environments. And most of the time, natural environments which are sort of protected and look in a good state are the ones within Gulf estates, so they become privatized. We can't even enjoy them. Let's look at the Vaal River itself. That probably a huge portion of it is privatized and is not open to the public. And these are things that need to change in planning to make it inclusive.
Thank you. Let's go over there. And then we're going to move to effective implementation. We have a couple of minutes left for that, 9 minutes.
Okay, I also wanted to contribute to the environmental sustainability and resilience in terms of urban development. I think we're not socializing our communities enough when it comes to environmental issues. And there is a little bit of over-reliance on government systems, whether it's municipalities or government. But there's very little work that is socializing our communities that you can recycle, you should recycle. The bins that are provided to communities, we don't say for this household, you will have bin A, B, C for 1, 2, 3. And communities need to understand and be taught of being environmentally conscious so that we could engage better in waste management. And being part of a circular community, involving society as well, that your waste can be power. We are now talking biogas into energy, and we're using waste in that space. So better socializing and conscientizing society on sustainable environmental sustainability, also supporting communities with the right tools for them to engage better in that way. In terms of resilient urban development, I think we're still also lagging very much behind because we actually are responding when it comes to SDG 13, the climate action. We're not proactive in that space. The KZN area is suffering when it comes to human settlement, loss of homes, because we're not even moving at a correct speed to engage in different materials, in IBTs, in materials that will be more resilient to climate change issues. Thank you.
Okay, colleagues, we have 7 minutes for a very big topic. Effective implementation. What I'm going to propose, they say there is no free lunch. So you are going to get lunch. But at lunch, your conversation is going to be about the rating that you gave around implementation. Okay. I will take 2 comments on how you have rated effective implementation. Thank you very much. I've actually rated it a 2. And as I'm listening and we're going through all the elements, what came to mind is that prosperity means different things to different people. Resilience is also influenced by different factors. Further to that, the interconnectivity to urban development also has its own elements. So I would say that effective implementation will have to start with education. So that even as we are discussing this urban development sustainability goals, how that is interacting, how that is interfacing, how does it influence the progress of the developments on the ground, which are mixed-use developments as we understand them, and the role of infrastructure, the role of land, the role of environment, because all those elements then influence and also enhance the appreciation of what we are trying to do. So if you're talking about urban planning to somebody who doesn't even own land, somebody who doesn't even have a safe environment, somebody who doesn't even have an infrastructure, so what are we saying? So I think that we need to start there and really provide education that will speak to this element and say to people, if you have land, you have wealth. If you have wealth, you have property. If you have property, safeguard your environment, really socializing and addressing all these issues. So we need to start from the bottom and make sure that when we speak of this inclusivity, there's also an educational element that comes with it. Thank you.
Okay, I'm seeing hands. I've noted at the back there, and I'm going to make this the last one, and then we really have to break. Let's go at the back there.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. My rate is 1 star. There's this aspect that bothers me most as transparency and accountability, more especially from our councillors. We have limited community engagement and inadequate service delivery administration in our municipality. We have illegal dumping sites. The whole place is jail. It's not good. The environment is not worth at all. We have difficulties in accessing and implementing indigent policies like free water, electricity, and sanitation. Thank you.
Last one over here.
So just a very quick one. I think I gave implementation 3 very generous because I have a sort of like a historic look at it in the contemporary one. There has been some really, I think, a good way of using the mining land in the south. I mean, just looking at the FNB Stadium itself, building there, Omondo, of course, was meant to be a place for white people, but then to sort of like connecting the city towards Soweto. You can talk about like Lufereng, even just the way the housing provision was built there, where some spaces for economic activity at the bottom of the development. If you also look at Vryhof, it's also sort of like the use of the former mining land, which is sort of like try to densify the city in there. I mean, if you go to the north, places like Diepsloot and around the Groot there, you might also want to look at that space in relation, stuff like Johannesburg on the one hand and Pretoria. So those are like just really putting everything sort of like in the center. So in as much as in the overall scheme of things, the growth spatially is on the edges. There seems to be like sort of like this just uncontrolled growth too. But there has been also, I think, some attempts to really reuse. The major problem for me when it comes to implementation has just been the continued use of the car, just emphasis on our use of the car as a mode of transport, which just makes the city actually dysfunctional. If we could have used another mode, then things could have really been much better.
I will say viva to that. I just want to check.